morning and welcome to Life at the Laundry Garden. I'm standing in the hallway and I just had to show you our Acer, which is outside the window here, looking utterly incredible. It lights up this hallway and turns it to an almost orangey glow at this time of year. And I could just sit here and drink my cup of tea all morning and admire its absolute beauty. Look at that. But I'm not going to, because today is gardening day. But before I go any further, I must apologise for my absence last week. I am still getting over the flu stroke COVID, and it literally floored me. And I had half a video ready for you, which I'll show in a moment, of when the tulips all arrived and how I dealt with them. And then I just couldn't carry on and was bedridden for most of the week. So I'm back now and I'm going to show you the autumn glory in the garden this morning. And I've got Hannah and Rowan here today in the garden with me, and we are going to get lots done. Now, while I get myself all ready to go, I'm going to leave you with the clips from when I sorted out the tulips when they arrived a couple of weeks ago, and then we'll head into the garden. See you in a moment. We have just recently experienced biblical rain. Yesterday, it just poured down all day long. Hence, I've just been on a dog walk and these were definitely needed today. Anyway, what I'm here to show you is that we have had our tulip bulb delivery and a few other bits and pieces as well. And I want to show you this. Now, when you get your tulips, or any bulbs of that matter, and you have possibly quite a few, maybe 100 or so, they'll come in a nice big box, and I highly recommend that you deal them very, very quickly. You don't necessarily have to plant them out immediately if you're not ready for it, but the best thing to do is to take them out of the box and put them somewhere where they can breathe. Because what happens is, when they're all stacked up on top of each other, they can start to sweat. And if they're left in that position until you're ready to plant out, which could be in the next few weeks, then these will start to get mouldy and not very happy at all. So I recommend that you put them in something where they're going to be able to breathe, and in an area where they're not going to be damp, they're going to be dry, and preferably where you're not going to have any mice. Because as we all know, mice love bulbs, especially tulip ones. And we're not ready to plant tulips out just yet, so I'm going to have to separate all of these into these brilliant crates. Now, you're probably wondering where these are from. A few months ago, there was a call out on Facebook from our local butcher with a picture of all of these stacked up, saying, if anyone's interested in these, they're for free if you want to make use out of them. Yes, they are plastic, and it was great of them to offer them for free and to someone who will make some use out of them, like me. So I got in touch, and they said they would be passing here and that they could deliver them, and they are just the perfect size and space. Hopefully mice won't get in them. They stack, as you can see. Well, mice will get into them, obviously, through these little gaps here. But what I do love about them is that I can just put a nice layer of bulbs in, stack them up, pop a label on, and then I can see exactly what they are and when I'm ready to start planting them. So you know what my job is now, don't you? I better get cracking. So what I want to show you is how I'm going to do this. Now, you can imagine there are packets and packets and packets of different types of bulbs. So the first thing I want to do is to put each collection of the same bulb into one tray, and then pop a quick label on it, and then I'll know which one's which. Then I will stack them in the actual collections that are going to be going in and around the different garden spaces. Now there are a few daffodils in here and some muscari that I can plant out straight away, which is fantastic. So that will save me on putting them into lots of crates. Right, I better get started. Okay, great. Now I've got the individual varieties of tulips in each tray. I've pinched some of this out of Tom's shed. This is, I think it's called just some tape that he uses to decorate with, and it's easy to tear, it's easy to write on, and basically I've written the name of the tulip on and stuck it directly onto the tray, and I have written the number next to the tulip variety, which indicates which collection it'll be joining with other tulips. And then I'll start stacking the correct collections in order so I know which one's which. So you can just see, so this is the name of the tulip, and that is the number to the variety. So here's my list, and so number 1 indicates the collection that will be going into the trough, and I've made a complete list of all the other collections and just given them a number to make it easier. So now the tulips are all laid out, ready for when the time comes to plant them. And I know we're in November, but we are definitely not ready here just now for planting because we're not cold enough. I think maybe in another week or two, when the temperatures really do drop consistently, then we're going to start planting the tulips. But in the meantime, we are going to tidy up some of the roses and prepare the beds ready for the tulips. But first, let's just admire this prunus. This is Prunus chirote in its autumn splendor. Isn't it stunning? I just wanted to show you because I look out onto this tree every single day from my kitchen window, which is just there, and it brings me so much joy. In a week's time, the leaves will have fallen from here, so I savour every moment of this splendid specimen. And just before I take you into the walled garden and show you what we're doing over there with Hannah and Rowan, another tree is this stunning Acer. And this is the one that sits in front of the hallway where I was earlier. And you can see its stunning autumn colours, the oranges and just the fieriness of it. It's insane. So I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is because, again, like the prunus, this will probably all be gone in a week or so. A few more outbursts of wind and that'll be it. But hey, oh, it just stops my heart every time. It's incredible. Right, I'm now going to head over to see how Rowan and Hannah are getting on. Rowan is working at the front of the wall garden and he will be tidying up a lot of the roses, just cutting off any of the long shoots that have happened over the past few months. And by doing that, it will just prevent any root rot of the roses, which can upset them quite a bit. So this is to do a bit of tying as well, so let's go. So here we have our rose borders that butt up to the front of the wall garden, and they are filled with some stunning roses, all David Austins. We've got Darcy Bustle, Gertrude Jekyll, which still has a bit of a flower on now, and all Rowan is going to be doing, and you can see here, this long straggly stem that will be cut back at least by half in this instance, but other bits like over here, they will just have a nice little tidy up to prevent any wind catching them and rocking the roots through the winter months. Right, so we're now going to move into the wall garden and see what Hannah's up to.
Here in the west border, Hannah's made a really good start on clearing a few plants here. Not all of them, but just a few, just to make things look a lot tidier and ready for when we plant the tulips in a couple of weeks.
So while Hannah is working in the border over here, I'm going to be just here. And all I'm going to be doing is cutting back these spent peony leaves because I've got hundreds of bulbs that are due to come up here in the coming months and I want to be able to see them and enjoy them. So better get on with it. So all I'm going to do is just go right to the base with some snips and take off the stems, ready for the display of daffodils. Well, we've come to the end of the day. Hannah and Rowan have gone home and we've had perfect weather and we've got lots and lots done. As you can see behind me, I've cleared all the peonies and tidied and weeded and freshened everything up, and the borders either side here have all been tidied up. Not fully cleared out, there's still lots of things that are still doing their thing, like the persicaria and some of the sage and a few other bits that we've left. And we've had Mr. Robin following us around quite happily, plucking out little worms and being very inquisitive, and it's just been lovely. We've laughed, we've had fun, and it's been a great day and I'm feeling accomplished, and I always feel fantastic at the end of a day where so much has been done in the garden. Well, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully next time I see you we will probably be lifting the dahlias just behind here, and that's going to be quite quite a full-on day, let me tell you, and I've managed to rope in my son to help, and hopefully the weather will be on our side like it has been today. So I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.